Hey everyone, welcome back to Mind Keys. My name is Dave, for those of you that don't know me. And I just want to say a quick and warm hello and welcome to all my new subs. Had a bunch of you join this month, and it feels great to see you guys commenting, interacting, and just joining. Really honored and grateful to have you here as a part of this journey and as a part of this conversation. And I really look forward to connecting more with you and delivering some great content to you. So for all of you that are new and that are here, thank you so much and welcome to the conversation. Let's go ahead and get into today's topic. So for those of you who have been watching my videos, especially my recent ones for any bit of time, you've probably noticed two things. One, I ramble a lot. And two, I've been kind of struggling to find the right kind of way to describe the work and really how to articulate everything that I have to share with you in these videos. So I've been struggling as a new YouTuber and as a new coach to find the right way to communicate with you what it is that I can offer you and how it might serve you and how that might fit into your life and everything that's going on in the world and all the complexities we're dealing with in this modern time. And this has really been a problem that I've been sitting with a lot. How do I communicate to you what it is that I'm about, the kind of conversations I want to have with you, and how they can help you? How is that valuable for you personally? And and how do I kind of nip my rambling in the bud, which I'm already doing a little bit here, so that we have a more concise, clear set of messages for you. So I've been working really hard, really trying to get to the root of that so that I can kind of ground the rest of my work on this channel moving forward with a very clear kind of context for you. And I've come to it. So I want to go ahead and kind of talk to you a bit about it and kind of lay that out for you. So if we kind of zoom out from the problem that I just described of how do I articulate this, set of ideas to you, it's funny because so much of it's not that I don't have anything to say. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I have so much content, so many ideas, so many perspectives, so many techniques that kind of wrapping all that together and kind of creating a nice, tight, clear synthesis of that for you has been such an ongoing struggle in my life. It's something that honestly has been a problem I've dealt with for years. So I kind of zoomed out. I took a step back and I took a look at it and I was like, okay, what is the kind of overarching context here? What is a good, healthy, clear, empowering container that kind of brings together, psychedelics, spirituality, awakening, meditation, personal growth, personal transformation, psychology, even politics, communication skills, relationship skills, all the stuff that I want to kind of bring together into this kind of clear, juicy, potent synthesis for you. What's the right framework that kind of overarches and connects all of these topics? It's kind of a big question. So I'd thought on that. I've been kind of soul searching and really looking for the right way to articulate this for you. And what I've arrived at is something that's so obvious and it's so at the heart of the work and the study that I do, which is really looking a lot at the intersection between hypnosis and how to personally transform, how to personally change, what works to get us to shift versus what doesn't work. And what's the science behind that? What's grounded in reality? So it's not just all woo, although I'm down to explore woo, and then we'll talk woo here. But I also want to keep it real, and I want to keep it solid. And so I try to ground all my education in hypnosis and NLP in a background in neuroscience, in a background in what we know about cognition, what we know about brain circuitry, what we know about neurochemistry, what we know about the body and biology and physiology, and how that intersects with emotional, mental, psychological states. And how can we leverage all of that? How can we get the body working with where we want to go so that it's kind of an effortless thing? This is kind of the inquiry that's in the background of all my work. Really kind of underpins how I approach helping people change. And I love it. I love that perspective. And there's so much there. And that ties in, of course, very nicely into understanding mindfulness and meditation, ties in nicely to psychedelics and understanding, how mushrooms work, how does LSD work when we take psychedelics, what's happening in this thing, and how does that impact the way we shift our state? How does that impact how we experience a change in our mentality and our emotions? And how can we describe that? How can we leverage that? How can we map that out and use that in our everyday lives, right? These are the kinds of questions I like to kind of grapple with and play with and try to articulate for you. And really what that all boils down to is flexibility. And this is a key principle in NLP, hypnosis. This is something you want to know for yourself. If you want to shift, if you want to heal, if you want to change, if you want to transform any aspect of yourself, whether that's something superficial or something really deep and profound and life-altering, what it is that you want to change is your capacity for mental flexibility. So if you stop and you think about that, whenever we have a problem, right, it means that neurologically, in the nervous system, in the body, in the kind of mind loops, if you will, the thought loops, if you will, we're stuck. We have a neural path that keeps firing whether or not we want it to, or we have a thought loop that just kind of continues to go over and over and over and kind of gets re-triggered by the same, life circumstances. So we tend to get the same outcome, and we can't kind of find a way to behave or operate outside of our kind of predetermined path that we've kind of worn in for ourselves. Sound familiar? So, if you think about it, any change work that's kind of worth its salt, that's really going to get you into where you want to be in your life, is going to require you and going to guide you through the process of some sort of new way of thinking or operating your nervous system. So without neurological flexibility and neurological freedom, you can't really change, right? So in order to transform our lives, grow, self-actualize, awaken, any of that, all of that, grow in any way as a human being, that requires adaptation and modification of our nervous system, of our neurology, of the mind-body integration, and how this whole thing we call self works, right? So this is really at the heart of change work, is neurological flexibility and neurological freedom. So the more you develop your capacity to think in different ways, to feel in different ways, to embody yourself and be in different states, the more you develop your capacity to learn different kinds of modalities and ways of learning, to perceive in different ways, it enriches your toolkit, your nervous system, your body-mind toolkit. And the broader that toolkit is, the more likely it is you're going to have a really good tool in there somewhere, a really good choice, a really good mode of being or way of operating that's going to get you the results you want with your experience of yourself or your experience of life around you. And so this is crucial. This is key. Cognitive liberty, the freedom to think in different ways. Perceptual liberty, the ability to perceive in different ways through different channels, whether it's learning how to listen better or see more clearly or feel in different ways. These are all, another way of thinking about it is the more you make finer distinctions with all your senses, the more intelligent you become with those senses. Intelligence is very much about sensitivity and ability to make finer and finer detailed distinctions. So the more nuance you have in your perceptual ability, I hope this is making sense, the more nuance you can create, the more nuance you have that's accurate, the more able you are to navigate life powerfully, successfully, and in a way that aligns and tracks with who you want to be and who you are. So that clear path between who you are now and how you most want to be in your life is really created through flexibility and through nuance. So this is what I'm advocating. This is what I'm standing for. This is what I want to share with you. This is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to empower you with. A greater sense of expanded personal flexibility, mental flexibility, perceptual flexibility, emotional flexibility, somatic flexibility. and freedom that comes from that, that empowers you to be how you want to be and live how you want to live. And so everything we're going to be talking about on this channel, whether it's psychedelics, whether it's hypnosis or meditation or healing or relationships and social contracts and how to be your best self and how to bring the best out of yourself consistently and how to tap into who you want to be and bring it, all of that exists inside of this framework called neurological flexibility and neurological freedom. So that's really what this channel is about. It's always what it's been about, even though I haven't been able to articulate it. Now that I'm articulating it to you, I want you to understand clearly that this is what we're going to be talking about. And I want you to consider what happens as you bust out of these kind of limited habits and these limited kind of thought loops with these limited kind of familiar emotions that come up in you time and time again that cause you pain or suffering or anxiety or fear or overwhelm or discomfort or dissatisfaction with your life. Like, how much better would your life be? How much sweeter, how much more fun, how much more interesting, how much more juice would you have? Or space or peace or whatever it is that is so super meaningful to you that you want to experience with your life. How much easier does that become to achieve and to have when you have more flexibility? So I'm going to offer to you that this is a foundational thing. Neurological flexibility is a foundational thing to any growth in life, to any goal attainment in life, to any success, to any spiritual experience. Like, how can you have a spiritual experience without having a shift in state? How can you have a spiritual experience without having a radical shift in your brain waves, in your physiology, in your hormonal profile? How can you, if you're an introvert and you're socially awkward, you're uncomfortable around people and you're uncomfortable out there in the world, there's a certain chemical profile, there's a certain neurochemical, neurological thing that happens when you interact with other people that you don't know that blocks you from having new experiences and breaking out of that pattern and experiencing yourself in a new way where you feel comfortable being yourself in the presence of other people in a way that allows you to connect and transform that experience, right? There's so many examples I could kind of rattle on over and over and over of how neurological freedom and flexibility is key. It's what healing is. It's what growth is. And so I just want to drop that here for you to consider, that this is at the heart of your personal growth path in your life, whatever that is for you, whether that is about making more money, whether that's about healing the past, whether that's about being better socially, whether that's about dating, whether that's about spiritual awakening, whether that's about, I had some crazy mystical experience. I didn't even need psychedelics. I just woke up from a dream and I had an enlightenment experience. And now my life is totally different. And I don't know how to fit all that together. Again, these are all about flexibility at the mind, body, nervous system level. So this is what I'm advocating for. I think this is crucial. And quite frankly, I think I see some kind of elements, narratives, dialogues, pushes in our culture to kind of narrow down your mental, emotional flexibility and stop you from free thinking, free emoting, free experiencing, free perceiving, so that you can really sort for yourself what is the best way you want to be and what is your truth. What is your true, valid, lived human experience? So I want to empower that in you. And that's what this channel is going to be about. It's going to be about that kind of flexibility, that kind of growth, that kind of adaptation and refinement and evolution so that you get to experience the best of who you are and you know how to tap into it consistently and bring it forward in the world, live your best life. So I hope that's inspiring to you. I hope you enjoyed it. If this resonates, please leave me a comment below. I'd love to know that this message is really connecting for you. And I'm going to try and make some shorter videos for you guys along with my longer form content. I'm personally into long form content. I'm a I'm a listener, I'm a thinker, and a lot of times when it comes to hypnotherapists and coaches, we like to talk. And sometimes it takes words to get the point across in its kind of wholeness. So I'm after wholeness of message over briefness. But I realize that some of you out there really like a concise, brief, short message. And I've gotten that feedback from some of my clients and some of the people watching. So I'm going to be working on that too for you guys. If you like any of this, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, interact, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Much love, be well, be safe, be healthy, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.